What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video. And so after X-Men 97, I was really thinking, and I wanted to do a tier list again because I like the first one with Spider-Man. If you didn't see that one, go and check that one out. But I want to rank the Fox movies, the X-Men movies, and just give my thoughts on them. This is in Spanish. The pictures are some of the pictures are in Spanish because like this is the only one that had all the movies on there and wasn't outdated. So I'm gonna just go through, give my thoughts about each one and why I rank them so high. And so there's gonna be a few that's gonna be in the trash, but y'all already know that this is gonna be like common senses. I might have some hot takes, but it's just basically general senses to be fact. But let's start in order. The first X-Men movie, it was cool. It was okay. It really was the benchmark in the early 2000s, whatever, before Spider-Man came out. You know what I mean? Only gripe I had was the outfits. I was like, they even made a joke about it, like, "Oh, do you want to wear blue spandex?" And it's like, yes, the fuck, I want to see X-Men look like the X-Men. I'm not trying to see them in leather jackets. Like, what are we doing here? But it was cool. I gave it a B. You know what I mean? It was very solid. Go back and watch it and have fun. You'll enjoy it. Um, X-Men 2, you already know, go to top tier, peak. Honestly, we should change this to peak. Let's do that. Peak, because X-Men doesn't get pretty much any better than this. They peak too high. It's like a how do I put this? It's like the NBA player that peaks in his sophomore year and doesn't live up to the hype again. Kind of like the Blake Griffin, if you will. You know what I mean? It just falls off afterwards. But X-Men 2 was fire. X-Men 3 was hot ass. Okay. X-Men. It had some highlights. I'm putting it in the D tier. Okay, had some highlights, but it wasn't. It wasn't what we expected, especially after X-Men 2. X-Men 2, when you have X-Men 2 and you go to X-Men 3, was a huge letdown. Okay, I'm saving trash for the worst ones. Okay, the worst ones was just worse than this, but I hated the Dark Phoenix thing. I did like the vaccine like storyline with the mutants that like wanted to get rid of their mutations and stuff like that. I think it was Rogue was the one that got in line and was trying to get it or whatever and stuff like that. Like I like that dilemma, I like that what they was doing with that, but they didn't go all the way. And the opening scene with Angel like clipping his own wings because he was afraid as a kid, that was a very powerful scene. That was like, okay, we really finna be in our bags here, and it kind of just fell off. But I really rock with that one. Then we're gonna do. Oh shit, X-Men. Okay, yeah. X-Men Origins Wolverine, trash. There's nothing redeeming about this movie. I didn't like any part about this movie. It was unbearable. It was. Everyone knows how bad this movie. This movie's trash. It's trash. Nothing to talk about. It's trash. Though Wolverine, I don't know if I'm doing this in release order because I kind of forgot after Origins. I don't know if it's like First Class and then Wolverine, but you know what I mean. They all kind of came around the same time because they got jumbled around, but. I guess we can do First Class. First Class was a beat. It's honestly, out of all these, this is my favorite film. The only thing I didn't like was obviously the Darwin scene, but X-Men First Class is definitely one of my favorite because it had X-Men that they didn't have before. You know what I mean? They don't get enough shine. Like I think it was Havoc. Like he was cool and stuff like that. Even though technically he should have been the Young Umbrella to Cyclops, but whatever. It would have been dope if this was like a full reboot, and then you had like the original X-Men from like the comics, like you had Angel, Cyclops, and all that stuff as the original team, and with Magneto and stuff like that. That would have been fire. But the team they had there, it was pretty cool. I like Kevin Bacon as the boss. I loved Charles Xavier and Magneto and stuff like that. All this was fire. I had no complaints about this movie. This movie is enjoyable from start to finish. It's not I guess you wouldn't say it's the perfect film, but it's like it's my fit. You know what? It could be a peak. I could put this in peak. I really rock with this movie. Fuck it, it's peak. Okay, for me it's peak. I really like it. There's nothing in this movie I could say that's bad other than like tiny little gripes. But like this is in terms of the X-Men universe, these two are the bar, the standard that we want. Especially when it comes to the MCU, it need to top these two. Okay, as of this list. It needs to reach the standard, okay? We need solid writing and characters actually being in costume, okay? I know they had the jack, but they was in the blue and yellow, okay? So it was nice. Though Wolverine, I'm gonna put in C tier. I loved the first 2/3 of this movie. The final third killed it for me. Because if it wasn't, it would be in B tier. Like, oh, Wolverine against ninjas and samurai. Oh, this is fire. But the final act ruins every bit of credibility I have for this movie, and I hate it. Can't stand it. The more I think about this movie, the more it angers me. And the fact that a movie coming up, people try to make it seem like the Wolverine set up for it, which it completely did not, angers me also. I did not like that. Since we're here, we're gonna talk about Logan. So Logan is the movie that people saying like basically this is like spoilers for the Wolverine, but it's been like almost 10 years since the movie came out. I think like if you haven't seen it, you're not gonna see it. But it's this chick right here. I know you can't see her, but like basically she can see like the future somewhere, like she has visions or whatever. And she says, "Oh Wolverine, I see you dying while holding your heart." And so this is spoilers for Logan. Logan dies at the end of Logan, right? And so he's holding X-23's hand while he dies or whatever. And it was like, oh my god, the Wolverine set that up. No, it did not. Get out of here, okay? No, it did not. All right. It did not. New Mutants is trash. This was just boring. It was boring. Did none of the characters justice. The fact that this was in development hell shows it was garbage. Dark Phoenix ass. My god. Ugh. Oh my god. Trash as hell. Deadpool, the first Deadpool, I put in a B tier. I like it. Even though they Fox wanted this to die so badly. Like Fox did not know what they were doing. They wanted this to fail so badly that they like mess with the budget. You can tell, you know, the whole thing about how the only reason this became a thing because it got leaked out. Like, you know, Fox did not want this to see the light of day for whatever reason. And it was a very silent film. Honestly, my only reason why it's not peak because there are some scenes I feel like should be cut. Like, I'm not trying to see this man get pegged, bro. I really don't care. Like, I get it. It's R-rated, but like, I don't like. It's some shit was like, okay, like, what is this? What is this? And it kind of does like, I've read Deadpool comics and stuff like that. I want to see a more. Deadpool 2 does this better, but like I want to see a depressed Wade Wilson. You know what I mean? I want, because that was his character for like majority of, like, ever since the video game came out, they've been like, oh my god, like Deadpool is just a quirky, fun guy. Like, no, he is a depressed piece of shit that don't want to be here. Like, and I know people like, oh my god, just pick up a comic. I read the comics. So what do you mean? Like, like he has a backstory of being a depressed and does, like, you know what I mean? And obviously they're gonna have the whole fall in love with death type thing and stuff like that, but I wanted to see more of that. But for this as an intro to the character, it was very solid. I really enjoyed it. Deadpool 2 kind of fell flat for me. I didn't really enjoy it as much as the first one. It was still fun. It wasn't like I was bored. I like what they did with Domino. Cable was cool. The plot line with trying to save this young kid from becoming a murderer and then killing Cable's family, something like that. That was a cool plot. I did like in the beginning when like he loses someone closest to him and he becomes depressed and like suicidal and stuff like that. That one is cool, but it's like it doesn't really hit the same as the first one, if that makes sense. Then we have this 3, and oh boy, we're gonna get some cut. This is D tier. It's a bad movie. Characters are underwhelming. It becomes what angers me about First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix. It was a problem with the X-Men movies in general, where like instead of it, we wanted Cyclops, we wanted the original X-Men to be the main focus, but it became the Wolverine and friends, right? And so after they do a reboot where Wolverine isn't in the picture, they pivot to Mystique. And it's like, bro, why are you pivoting to characters that aren't the main characters, bro? It's like doing a, how would I say, you're doing a Justice League movie, right? And the main character of the Justice League is Green Arrow. And it's like, okay, like I don't understand what we're doing here. And then when Green Arrow is in the picture, you're doing to Jimmy Olsen. It's like, bro, what the fuck are we doing? Yo, just pick the dude, please focus on the main characters, please. I don't care. Like, why is Mystique such a pivotal prop point in these movies? Where it's like, bro, I don't care about this character, bro. Like, she's cool. Jennifer Lawrence killed it, but it kind of felt like, yo, we got a big name playing this character. We got to shove her in the forefront, and it became super apparent in this one, especially this one. It was like the shit she was saying. It's like, bro, what the fuck? And then I'm not for the. I don't. Well, shit's trash. When she dies, it was like, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? When she get like impaled or some shit like that, that was fire. I'll be honest with you, I barely remember this fucking movie. I did remember what Quicksilver trying to tag Jean Grey and got like thrown across the fucking street and shit like that, and then them fighting aliens. But then, and then the cool Magneto moment at the end. That's it. That's all I remember. This is better than these three by far. If I had to pick out of these four to watch, low-key would be X-Men Origins because it's like it's so bad. Where it's like fuck it, but I will watch X-Men Apocalypse because like I love Apocalypse. I love Oscar Isaac's voice as Apocalypse. It was when he was like he was talking to Charles. Charles was hiding. He's like, "We're still connected." I was like, "Oh, still no business." But like, nah, there's no redeeming qualities about any of these films. Logan, what people say is the best X-Men film, I didn't like it as much. I'll be honest with you. I know this is a hot take. It's a very good movie, but it just wasn't for me. Maybe I should say it like that. It wasn't for me. It didn't hit the same as everyone else did. Okay, it was a very solid film. I would never sit here and say that Logan is a bad film, but it just didn't hit for me as the others did. If that makes sense. Days of Future Past. It's between B and Peak, B and Peak. But like, I know people will be like, "How the fuck is Days of Future Past not Peak? It is the greatest X-Men film." I prefer X-Men First Class over Days of Future Past. They should have not have Days of Future Past be the sequel to First Class. They should have had at least had like 2 to 3 more films in this First Class era as like the X-Men actually being the X-Men in like schools and stuff like that and all that stuff. Then jumping straight into Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past was a good movie, but it felt like they had First Class and immediately jumped to we need Logan back into this thing, and it's like you don't need Logan. That is one of the things that drags it down for me because once again it was like a Wolverines and Friends story. It's like, bro, what the you could have like I know they did a like Rogue cut where it's like Rogue was doing everything or whatever like in the comics, but it would have been cooler if they had like Rogue be it was like, okay, this is a new change of the guard. Hugh Jackman is great as Wolverine, but he's gonna be more of a background character if he doesn't show up at all. The little cameo in Apocalypse, I think it was cool. The whole thing with him going back in time, it was like, you know what I mean? But it was a cool story. So I would put in Pink because it honestly top 3, honestly top 4. These would be the top 4 movies. But in my opinion, me watching it or wanting to watch it again, it would probably be this. In terms of rewatchability, like if I had to go through a list and pick what I would rewatch in order, Logan would be at the last because some movies I don't enjoy rewatching, I guess, like especially when they're like more of a not darker tone but more of a somber tone, you know what I mean? It was just like you know what I mean, like I watched it like 3 times since it came out. It's like it's cool, but it's like not something I'm gonna go back to at all. But yeah, that's my X-Men ranking. Let me know down below what y'all think. I'll be in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Thank you.